Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I've got Amanda here with me. She's our program manager for the OP Germany program, and I am the program manager for Belgium and the Netherlands. So today we will be chatting to you about Germany, Netherlands, and Belgium, what is needed, and how to start your application process. Right. So as most of you know, this is three European countries. So they are close to each other. What the nice thing is that you can stream between like spend a year in the Netherlands, then go to Germany, and then go to Belgium, or just do 1 year in each country. And yeah, so let's just start off with what's needed to sign up for the au pair program and how to start your application process. In terms of the basic requirements, which is pretty standard across all three destinations, you can just go to the next slide.
The next one, Alms, or the one that
Yeah,
is
the next one has got the summary. So in terms of the age requirements, so it's normally starting off with your 18 to 25-year-olds for Germany, and for Netherlands and for Belgium. For Germany, it's 18 to 26. With Belgium and Netherlands, you need to match and get your visa before you turn 26-year-old. With Germany, it's match, get your visa before you turn 27. With all three destinations, they're looking into like obviously having your matric certificate. If you have not completed the high school the normal way, you've maybe obtained a qualification similar to high school, just chat to your OVC office about that because depending on the destination. With Europe, yes, they're looking into riding a bicycle. You need to be able to get around. As you can see on the picture, it is the girl riding a bakfiets, which is in the Netherlands. And they like au pairs having a driver's license. It is a plus, but it's not required for the European countries. It's only for Belgium where they would want the au pair to drive instead of bike, or it could be a combination of both. In terms of the passports, we do accept South African, European, and Namibian passports for our European program. If you are from a non-South African, non-Namibian country, and you would like to apply for the European program, just chat to your OVC office because other nationalities we do on a case by case. In terms of Netherlands and Belgium, you don't need to speak the language, you don't need to speak Dutch, you don't need to speak Flemish. It's just Germany that you need to have your A1 entry-level German, which is required for the visa. So that's literally your beginner level a German start off. And with the Netherlands and with Belgium, you will do a language course, either learn French, German, or Dutch with Belgium, and German, Netherlands, you only learn the Dutch language. Obviously, they're looking for au pairs that are fit and healthy, no chronic issues, no health history. But if you do have any currently on medication or have any health history in the past, just check again to OVC because it's normally handled on a case-by-case basis. First aid is a bonus to have, but it's not required for the program. Obviously, you need to be single with no kids of your own. If you are in a relationship with just a boyfriend, it is absolutely fine. It's just more about not being engaged, not being married, that kind of setup. And yeah, and then if you have like extra skills, being outdoors, being sportive, you've done a TEFL qualification, you've done tertiary studies, maybe you've studied bachelor in education. That's what they're looking for in terms of like the extra bonus skills, and obviously being able to swim, anything extra that can just make your application stand out as a bonus to potential host family. And on our next slide, we are chatting about your the day in the life of an au pair. I'm pretty sure most of you know exactly or have an idea of what you'll be doing as an au pair, which your main responsibility will be looking after the children, be there for the family, and be the older sister for the kids. Your day starts very early in the morning where you have to get the kids ready for school. You have to get breakfast ready for the family, pack the lunchbox. It's going to be taking kids to school. The parents might take the kids to school, and then you have like your chores and many responsibilities and things that you need to do while the kids are in school, or you might have some free time. And then in the afternoon, it's going to be busy with the kids again with schoolwork and sports and play dates and lunch and just spending time as a family when it comes to like dinner, and then it's bedtime, and then you'll be free for the evening. Unless the host mom and dad wants to go out on for the evening, they might ask you to just look after the kids while they're out. So it is normally a typical 30 to a 35-hour work week with the Netherlands and with Germany. With Belgium, you only work about 20 to 25 hours a week. You do get your off days as well, so that you have time to travel, to go out with your friends, to do some local sightseeing. So you have like your weekends, like at least one weekend off a month. With Netherlands, you have like 2 days off a week, which could be a Monday and a Friday, or it could be Saturday, Sunday. It differs from host family to host family, and this is the typical question you would generally ask the host family during the interview as to what is my day going to look like? What is looking like with the kids from your typical day to day with a 5-year-old, with an 8-year-old, a 2-year-old. And then on our next slides, we are chatting about what is like your support that you have on the program, which is obviously you'll get your full on support with your screening of the host families, the same way we screen you as an au pair. You have your monthly activities, or like every second and third month where the au pairs get together, do some local sightings. You get to experience the culture. We help you with the visa application. We help you with all the necessary documents for your application itself. And then you also have your travel insurance that will be provided on program, which is covering medical emergency. It's covering your in-country support by our partners. So our partners do screen the host families as well. So if there's any, things that you want to ask them in country, issues with the family, they are your go-to people. They are going to be checking in with you on a monthly basis or every second, third month, just to see that you are still, on program, you're still happy with your family. So it's not that you're going to be left alone completely having to figure out yourself. And on our the next one, please.
Oh,
How are we going to
sorry, there we go.
Cool. So, you're all excited, obviously going to be excited to meet, find your host family, like look for a family that where you can fit in well with them. You're going to have your preferences in terms of the ages that you would like to take care of, the typical family that you're looking for, whether you're open to single parent, to two-parent family, whether you're open to want a family with a special needs, a family with infants, an outdoors family, a quiet family, a family that likes musical concerts, that likes to, do practice sports like cultural type of activities. So you're going to have your own little idea of what you're looking for, and you're going to work off that when you do interviews with host family. Obviously, it's very important to look into, like with the children, are you able to handle 3 children? Are you able to handle a family with 5 children, with a single mom or with a single dad? Do you want to work with babies? So there are different criteria that you're gonna look into for your host family, and we are also there to help you and to guide you in terms of like what family is going to be the right one for you. Like when to say yes to a match, when you do interviews with more than one family. We also, help you to like, you'll get to see the family's profile as well. So it is important to keep all of that in mind. There is no rush to, having to take that first family and say yes to it, and you have to find a family and match within 5 days. We've had girls that has been, talking to different families over a period of a month or two before they find the right match. So we are there to help you with that. We also provide you with guidelines of typical question to ask the family, what to ask in the first interview versus a second interview, what not to ask the family. So that's where the exciting fun and part comes. And I'm going to hand it over to Amanda, who's going to take you through to the next steps.
Thanks so much, Elms. So yeah, I think it's really important for everybody just to obviously start writing down all their questions now, actually, so that and try and get a good idea in terms of what exactly they're looking for. But I'm going to take over the presentation now, and I'm going to be chatting more along the lines of what each specific destination includes. So whilst Europe is obviously our 3 European destinations are very similar, they're also, we like to think, very different. Something nice to keep in mind is that what Elms mentioned earlier in the presentation is that with Europe, there are no options to be able to extend or anything along those lines. So for example, if you are in the Netherlands, you can only au pair in the Netherlands for a full 12 months, nothing shorter and nothing less. However, you are able to possibly then maybe hopscotch across over through to, say, Germany or Belgium, where you might then obviously get placed with a German or a Belgium host family. So it's you can kind of have like the best of Europe, so to speak. So it's nice, obviously, just to keep that in mind. I don't really think that there is anywhere that is better for anybody. I think we often get the question of which destination is the better one, which would you recommend? And I think to answer that question, you're gonna have to go and do a little bit of your own research to try and figure out which European country is the better destination. Before I start, I will eventually start going through all the differences, but I also just want to quickly mention that if you're going to au pair in Europe, you are going to do it for the love and for the experience and for probably saying, I've lived in Europe or I lived in the Netherlands for 12 months. You really are not going to go and make lots of money. It's more for the experience. You're going there for the culture, you're going there for the food, you're going there for the festivals, you're going there for the vibe. You're going there to just travel and have fun and experience those traditions and those cultures and things like that. It's definitely not going to be a place for where you can go and make money and save and all the rest of it. So that's my little spiel on the destinations and trying to figure out which is the best one. But we have Belgium, who is obviously first up front. So Belgium, in terms of what the program overview is, that you have to apply and obtain your visa and if I'm not mistaken, enter Belgium before your 26th birthday. So please just keep that in mind. Like Alms has mentioned before, your hours that you would work are anywhere between 20 to 25 hours per week. So literally not much at all. You will be earning a monthly stipend. So that word stipend is just really an American word for, I suppose an American word for pocket money. So you'll be earning a monthly pocket money allowance of 450 euros. And you will also have a language allowance of I don't know exactly how much it is, but I think it depends on the partners that we use, etc. But you would then be able to use that language allowance to be able to use towards learning Dutch or French. And I think, Alms, correct me if I'm wrong, I think in some parts, possibly even some German. So you kind of have the best of everything in Belgium. It is a 12-month placement and a 12-month placement only, so nothing less and nothing more. Your visa that you are going to be getting across the board, so whether you're going to be going to Belgium, Netherlands, or Germany, your visa itself will be a particular and a specific au pair visa. It will only allow you to au pair in that particular country, but the best part about it is that that visa is going to allow you to travel into any of the other European countries, which is probably the best part about these programs, is that you don't have to get a visa just to pop over to Paris, or, you know, to take a week off and go down to the south of France or Spain, or go visit Italy or Croatia. So you've got that freedom, so to speak, to be able to go and travel. It just means that obviously if your au pair visa is for Belgium, then you can only then obviously au pair and look after your children in Belgium. So it is specific in that way. There will be household chores as well. So that would mainly probably be pertaining to the whole household as well. So, you know, the Europeans have a little bit of a different take than, say, the Americans, where they feel that you are more of part of the family. So your household chores would be more, I suppose, I want to say, like, probably hopefully what you do at home, picking up after yourself, you cleaning up common areas, that type of thing, stacking, unstacking the dishwasher, laundry, ironing is a big favorite, especially in the Netherlands. So yeah, so just to keep that in mind. And we have noticed a very big trend with the Belgium host families is that they do prefer, number one, mature applicants, so generally 21 years and upwards, generally, but very particularly is they generally look for someone who has a driver's license. So if you don't have a driver's license, it's not to say that we can't place you. It just might mean that it's going to take a little bit longer to place you. If you do have a driver's license and you're thinking of going to Belgium, then obviously it would just make you a little bit of a stronger applicant. And because you're in Europe, you're not yet in the Netherlands, but you're almost there. And if you're going to be going to Belgium, you would need to have some kind of bicycle riding skills. I think they tend to bicycle more in the summer months. And then we've just obviously hopped over through to Germany. So Germany is similar but different at the same time. So Germany's age is a little bit higher, so to speak. So you would actually need to the age is up to the age of 26 inclusive. So you need to get matched and placed and apply for your visa before your 27th birthday. And you're looking at working plus minus about 30 hours a week. So really not a lot as well. And you'll be earning a monthly stipend of 300, and it's actually 370 euros per month. And I'll explain why. You also get a contribution every month towards a German language course. So that's why it comes up to the 370. Whether you do your German language course for a month, whether you do 5 classes, whether you do 25 classes, it really is up to you. You will still continue to earn your 370 euros per month, which is inclusive of your language allowance. And the nicest part, and probably the friendliest part of the German program, is that they actually will take a shorter stint. So you can go for a shorter placement. So that is something that they are quite flexible on. The only thing is that if you're going to go for anything shorter than 12 months, you would then need to pay for your own air ticket. If you are going to commit for 12 months and you stay your 12 months in Germany, then your host family pays for your 2 and your return ticket. So keep that in mind. Once again, the wonderful thing about going to au pair in Europe is that you've got that visa. This one is going to allow you to obviously au pair within Germany and allow you to travel in and around Europe and go on those exciting excursions. The household duties are there as well. So I think it's a very valid thing in life. I think, particularly for females, unfortunately, but when you are going to be involved in a household, there obviously are going to be chores, etc. And especially, when these kids get messy. So just to obviously keep that in mind. I think it's a good idea probably to, when you start chatting with host families, like Elm said, maybe some of the questions that you should have would be, like what would your schedule be? So you can get a good understanding from your host family in terms of what your duties are going to be, what is expected of you, and then you can obviously see what you are, if you're going to be happy in that kind of environment. Germany will take you if you have a driver's license or if you don't have a driver's license. So we are able to place drivers and non-drivers in Germany. So that is definitely an option if you are a non-driver or a driver. If you have bicycle riding skills, that is also great as well. The Germans love to cycle, particularly during the summer months, you know, and you'll probably find that it's also a great way to be able to use the bike as an activity or as something to do with the kids as well. But probably one of the most standout things about the German program is that you do need to be able to speak the basics of German. So you will need to have what they call an A1 German certificate. It's a language certificate. A1 is the level. And it's A1 pretty much stands for a conversational German. So it's not going to be anything intense, etc. The embassy are not going to test you, but this certificate that you have has to come from a particular language institute. So you can do any lessons, you can learn from Duolingo, you can go on to YouTube, you can go for private tutoring lessons, you may have done German at school. It doesn't matter how you learn and how you get yourself to that A1 level. The exam that you do that's going to give you the certificate needs to be through a specific institution, and that institution is the Goethe Institute. So they are nationwide and in fact in Namibia as well. So it's definitely, in fact, they're international. So it's definitely obtainable. It's not going to be a difficult thing. It's just an extra thing that Germany has put on the program. And trust me, it's not us and it's not our partners. It's unfortunately the German embassy, and it's a visa requirement. So there isn't any way around it. And then we're probably getting to the people's favorite, which is the Netherlands. It is probably the most popular European destination, probably because I think that the most amount of Dutch people speak English. So, you know, I think people kind of gravitate towards knowing that thought. The age requirement, sorry, for the Netherlands is up to the age of 25 inclusive. So you need to apply, get matched and placed, and apply for your visa and enter before your 26th birthday. And you would also be working roughly about a 30, possibly 35-hour week, and you'll be earning a monthly stipend of 340 euros per month. Just on the whole stipend thing, guys, just keep in mind that it is monthly pocket money. You are going to have no accommodation expenses and no food expenses. You will also get a contribution towards a Dutch language course, which is a bonus as well. And with the Netherlands, it is 12 months, take it or leave it. So it's all or nothing. So you got to be in it to win it, so to speak. So you can't do anything shorter and you can't do anything longer. So it's 12 months. Remember, keeping in mind, if you were wanting to do something longer, you could always say maybe get placed and go and find a German host family or a host family in Belgium. Once again, I'm rattling on about the visa. Remember that visa that you get also for the Netherlands will allow you to au pair, particularly within the Netherlands itself, but it will allow you to travel in and around all the other different exciting parts of Europe. Your household duties are obviously going to be, you know, more European, so to speak, where you're going to be an extra, you're going to be part of the family, so you're going to have to, you know, kind of like clean up after yourself as well as the kids, etc. But you know, chat to your host family, get a good realistic idea in terms of like what your duties will include, you know, what your childcare duties would be and what your household duties would be as well. Driver's license is also preferred, although we obviously can place non-drivers for the Netherlands as well. If you're on like the edge of getting your driver's license and not getting a driver's license, just push yourself, guys, to get your driver's license. It is a huge tick off your adult list that will just completely benefit you as well. And with the Dutch host families, they really do look for anyone who is a stronger applicant. So having extra things like having a driver's license will definitely put you above somebody else who possibly doesn't as well. Also on that note, if you speak Afrikaans, maybe you understand it, but you're not so great in talking it, like let that come through on your application as well. But the biggest thing for the Netherlands, and this one is, you know, it's ride or die kind of thing, is, and literally is, if you don't bicycle, you cannot apply for the Netherlands. You have to be able to ride a bicycle. And this is because the Dutch ride a bike everywhere, anywhere, at any time, any type of weather, whether it's sunshiny, whether it's windy, and it gets windy there a lot, whether it's snow, whether it's rain, whether it's sleet, you will be riding a bicycle. This is definitely going to happen. And your bicycle will become your mode of transport. It's literally going to become like your car. So your bicycle is to get to and from and run errands. It's to get your kids, your host kids, to and from different activities, to and from school. If your kids are quite young, your host family might have what they call a bakfiets, which I think Elm showed you that picture of Jira actually, who was riding not really such a modern bakfiets, but it's almost like a big mountain bike that has almost like a carriage on the front that will protect the kids from rain and wind and all the rest of it. But you need to be able to ride a bicycle. It is definitely going to happen. Your bum's definitely going to be on a seat and you're definitely going to be riding. So the bonus thing about going to the Netherlands is that everybody rides a bike. So there's no image, you don't have to be image conscious or anything along those lines, and most likely you're going to be cycling a fair amount, so you're probably going to be losing some weight as well, which, so great brownie points there as well. And then also included on the Netherlands program is also an orientation, as well as a first aid course depending on where you are situated. And then our next slide, sorry, this I don't know why it doesn't want to change.
Just try with your
There we go.
space button.
So we're going to go through the costs. So as you can see, the total cost for Belgium, in fact, all of the three programs are going to cost you roughly about 25,000 Rand in total. So that is from start to finish. So from A to Z, pretty much you are going to spend roughly about 25. They all kind of like work the same way, but obviously, they want to be different. They are sisters in a way, so they do work slightly differently. But with Belgium, there is an application fee, which is 4,950, and that you would then obviously pay to start your application. Once you are matched and placed with your host family, you pay 6,500. Then when it's time to apply for your visa, you pay for your visa fee, which is 180 euros. Your flights and your travel insurance is included in the program and paid for by your host family. And we would recommend that you have a total of 450 euros as spending money. So you don't pay all of that money through to OVC. You don't pay it all at once. You pay kind of like as you go along. And so just to obviously keep that in mind. Germany works very similar in the sense that you would pay your application fee of 4,950. You would then also have your program fee, which is 6,500, and that's only paid once you are matched and placed and it's confirmed that you have your host family. Your visa fee, you would then obviously pay directly to the embassy. Your insurance and your flights are obviously included if you go for the 12-month option. And then we recommend that you take 350 euros spending money. So in total, it's about 25,000. We've also incorporated that A1 German language certificate as well. So, it's really quite affordable. I'm sure you would agree. We have the Netherlands, which works a little bit differently because it's the Netherlands and the Dutch people just do their own thing most times. So when you apply for the Netherlands, the application fee is 700 Rand. And when you have completed your application, what will happen is we will then submit your application through to our program manager. We have a bit of a quality control system, and then from there, it will then go through to our partners, and our partners will review your application, and they will also have a pre-screen interview with you. And at that pre-screen interview with you, it's normally done in a group thing. It's an online session. After that, they will then tell us, and they will come back through to our program manager, and they will say, we interviewed Amanda. She was wonderful. We would definitely think that we would be able to place her. And it's at that stage, once you have been accepted by our partner, that you would pay towards your ticket. So you'd pay a deposit towards your ticket, and that is that 4950. You pay the balance, the ticket contribution balance of 68, once you are matched and placed with your host family. So once you're matched and placed and it's official, your visa fee is covered by your host family. Your travel insurance is covered with your host family. And if your ticket, which is going to be over and above your 4950 and your 68, you don't have to worry about that. That is your total contribution that you would pay, and your host family basically covers the rest of it. So your spending money, we'd also recommend that you take, keeping in mind that you are going to be going to your European destination. You're going to be au pairing for a month first before you will start earning your pocket money. So it's important to have a little bit of spending money so you can buy maybe things for your trip on your way there. You know, maybe you want to buy something at the airport, etc. But maybe you want to buy a couple of things when you first arrive there, just as like a souvenir. But overall, the Netherlands is, you're looking at about 25. So yeah, so all in all, if you're wanting to au pair, that's pretty much what you're looking at in a nutshell in terms of cost wise. I think just in terms of finding out exactly how people enjoyed it, part of your research should be speaking to people who have done au pairing before, and not just getting one person's opinion, trying to get different people's opinions, people that you've never met before. And the best way to try and do that would be probably to go and stalk our social media. So go and have a look at TikTok, go have a look at our Instagram. We have some wonderful testimonials from girls across the board, across the spectrum, across the destinations as well, that you'll be able to kind of like hopefully see yourselves in their shoes, and hopefully their pictures and their videos and their content will speak to you and hopefully speak volumes. So if we have created a spark, and if we have kind of like, ignited that fire for you to be able to go and au pair, then please reach out to your nearest OVC office. We have offices across South Africa, and obviously also in Namibia as well, which we're all very proud of. So please reach out to your OVC office, and your consultant will be able to take you through the next steps. And then I think that just leaves us to question time. So I don't know if any of you have any questions. I think there's something in the chat box. Let's have a look. Regan asks, what happens in the event of illness, sickness, or death of an au pair? Is there any insurance or medical aid? Yes, so it is a program requirement that you have medical insurance, so that in the event of something like that happening, there is repatriation, etc. Touch wood, it obviously is very much a reality. We do live in quite a busy and a world where things like that do happen, but it's good to know that you are protected and you do have insurance for that. So it's not going to cover anything like over-the-counter meds or anything along those lines. It would be like in the event of an emergency, in the event of an accident, etc. Are there any other questions maybe? Cassidy asks, do you earn a salary, or is that the stipend, the salary that you earn? So yeah, Cassidy, you don't earn a salary because it's a cultural exchange program. There's no salary as such. So the stipend is your pocket money, and that's what you'd be earning monthly, keeping in mind that you're not going to have to pay for rent, and you're not going to have to pay for food either. And sometimes I'm being like, sometimes the host families are really generous. You might find that they might buy you a bus ticket to go somewhere, or a train ticket. I'm not saying that it happens with every single host family, but sometimes you have a really good relationship, and sometimes that does happen. I know, Alms, that happened with you when you au paired. You were gifted a couple of tickets somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. Alms, do you want to get the next question? I don't know if you're there. I'm hoping that you are. It's Litle says or asks, is it guaranteed that you'll be placed with a host family if you do apply? Okay, oh no, here she is. I think your computer's playing silly buggers, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I'm going to answer that one. Okay, there you go.
I think it, I think it depends on obviously the destination,
Yeah.
which ones you decide to apply for. But I mean, if you put in a good effort with your application, like don't rush your application, don't put one-liners for answers. Like if you share, good enough information about like your skills, your hobbies, all your childcare experience, like a really like outstanding video that's going to be selling yourself to the host family, yes, then you can definitely, match quickly. We have applicants that match very quickly, and then we have applicants that's been, circulating for a couple of months in the system before they eventually match. But with the Netherlands, once you have completed your application, obviously OVC will screen you, and we will, like, if you need to, let's say, make any changes to your application in terms of maybe you need to work on more hours. Maybe you need to practice your biking skills to be more confident on a bike. There are things that we will advise you to work on. And then when you eventually complete your full application with the Netherlands, when you submit it to the partners, they will also have like a meet and greet video chat with you, just for them to get to know you a little bit better, your motivation, what you're looking for. And after that, they do provide, the feedback whether, okay, cool, it's a great applicant, we will be able to find your family. They are quite, like they straightforward, upfront to say, listen, you're going to take really long to find a family. If your biking skills are like, very, very minimum in terms of, you're not cycling on a daily basis, maybe you haven't been on a bicycle for a long time, maybe you're not an active person. They will tell us that's going to take a very long time. They will try to find your family, or it would rather be best to look at the other European destination that might be a bit more flexible. But yeah, like we don't use the word guaranteed. It's just that the timeline is different from applicant to applicant.
Definitely. And do you want to answer the next question where Zia asks, does the stipend vary every month or does it stay the same?
Every month. So that is a set stipend that you will earn as an au pair. But like Amanda said, the family can be generous with, extra things here and there. And again, it depends on from destination to destination as well, whether you might get like a train pass to use on weekends, or if you get a discounted pass. Some host families might even, see like some of your personal, like if you have your food preferences, let's say your favorite snack, that might be seen included in the groceries. I've seen some of them that might include some of your personal basic, like the toiletries, shampoo, conditioner, that might be included. And then on the next one, for Jubilee, that's the what if you are declined for one destination? Can you switch to another? And yes, do I pay another application fee? Yes, you can switch. So we generally like the same if let's say you apply for the Netherlands and it takes quite a while, like a long time for you to match, and you're looking to maybe switch to Germany, then you will just obviously have to cover the difference in the application fee between the Netherlands and Germany. Because Netherlands is only 700 rand and Germany is 4,950. Then you'll just have to redo the entire application documents because the forms and the application process is different between the three destinations, and we can switch you across to the other one. But it won't be that's why we as OVC screen you before we get you to sign up for the au pair destination. So if you might be, let's say, have a medical condition that's not accepted by Germany, but it might be accepted by Netherlands, then we will have to go forward with a Netherlands application or with Belgium, for example. So That's why it's important to chat to your OVC consultant about if you have any pre-existing condition, if there's anything that could have an impact on your application, because we will always check with our 3 different European partners to see, are they open or can they accept you, or do they have an issue with this medical condition that you might have. What's the next question with Abigail? If there's an emergency back home, for example, a relative is seriously ill or something like that, is there a way I can come back for a while and after it's sorted go back or not really? I think it's quite not can't give you a straightforward answer. It depends on, the situation and how close the relative is. It's more like if it's like mom or dad, sibling, that's like more lenient into it, allow you to travel for, but it can't be like traveling and then you stay for an entire month or two with your family and then you want to go back. The families would most likely give you, let's say, a week or 2 weeks off to travel home for, for a family emergency. But that is something that you and the family and the partner agency need to discuss, so that you all can decide what's going to be the best way for you, whether you go for a short period and then come back to finish the remaining of your program, or if you're not planning to, like if it's not planning to come home, come back too quickly, then it might, be a case of terminating your placement. If it's like obviously a funeral, it's the same situation. So that's an honest decision that the partners in the host family actually need to make. But it's not they're not gonna like force you to stay or not to say you can't go. It just needs to consider all the parties involved with that. Then Regan asks, in the case that you are not satisfied with your host family once you get there, are you able to find another family while being in the country? So yeah, we our partners do have obviously they will always first sit with you and the family, talk about the issues in terms of like what are you unhappy about? Is this something that you could work on or the family could work on? If there's something that can maybe it's like personality clashes, or maybe you haven't given it enough time to adapt with the family and to make it work. If you just arrive, let's say less than a month or less than 2 months in the country. So they will always first have a sit down, come up with solutions and see if you can work on it. If it's really like a worst case scenario where it's actually absolutely not going to work out and it's not going to, the best way for you and the family is to part ways, then then they will obviously put you in the rematch situation where you can then go find a new family, and the family will be able to find a new au pair as well. Then it depends on whether you will just stay with the family and continue to help them and provide childcare or bring an au pair while you wait for a new family, or you might have to stay with somebody else if you don't want to stay with the family until you've got a new match. What are the Cassidy said, are there many 18-year-olds that has been placed with the host family, or do host families normally look for older than 18? I mean, for Netherlands, if I look at the average applicant, they are 18 to 23, 24. There are still family that takes a 25-year-old. It's all about how mature you are, your experience that you have. If you have been away from home, if you, like able to adapt to changes and have, there's different, every family look into it in a different way. Some family prefer to have an au pair older than 21 just because the previous au pairs was older than 21. Some families prefer your young girls that can be super active with the kids and play with them and be outdoors. I think the same is it's the same with Germany as well. It's like
Yeah.
they prefer the younger ones
Yeah.
versus
I think,
older.
yeah, Germany's not as fussy as the other two. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's quite a hard question to answer because it really does come down to you and your maturity, your personality, how you come across when you are obviously chatting to host families and what they think of you and your application. But we've definitely been able to place lots of 18-year-olds across the board. I would definitely say though for Belgium though, I tend to think that they do prefer 21 years and upwards. Hey, Elms?
Yeah, Belgium prefer your older applicants that have gone to university that's got more than matric behind their name. But we have had 18, 19-year-olds in the past, which is like that, far in between applicants that stand out. But just on another note for Belgium, if you are in grade 12 and you're hoping to apply for Belgium straight out of school, you can actually only go to Belgium once you have received your official matric certificate. So with Germany and Netherlands, we can use your grade 12 results that comes out in January when the official results comes out. But it's just, and then the official certificates normally come out, I think, like June, July. So you're only going to be leaving at the second half of the year. So just bear that in mind. That's why Germany and Netherlands will be your best option if you want to go straight out of school.
Yeah.
And then you can always opt to like do as your second year in Europe,
Yeah.
to Belgium. Yeah. Then there was a question in terms of what documents are needed for the application. So the basic to start off with is you'll complete the registration link that your OVC office will send you. Then you pay your application fee and then you'll get the full application document, which is your application form, the references, which is a template that you have to get your non-family references from, your character references. There's a host family letter, then it's your passport, your background check. Then depending on the destination, some you need to do your medical with your application, some you do the medical for the visa only. Yeah, like we provide you with all the necessary documents and a checklist of what is needed for your application, and then also your video. So you just need to chat to your agent once you've decided which one of the three European destination you wish to apply for.
Yeah, that's pretty much our job. We'll take your hand and we'll
Then
give you that
well,
whole
there's two
process.
last questions. Do you wanna take the last two?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the last two is do I pay for my own aid plane ticket, so from your own pocket. So basically, with Germany and with Belgium, is paid for by the host family if you obviously commit for your 12 months. For the Netherlands, you do pay towards a contribution. And then I think there's also another question about how much exactly do I need to register. So I would definitely say if you're wanting to know like what documents do you need, how much is, like how much is the Netherlands exactly going to cost me? If you want to see all that breakdown again, then just reach out to your OVC consultant and then they will be able to obviously guide you through that, give you an informative brochure with a breakdown, a cost breakdown, etc. And obviously talk you through the next steps. Then the last question Masana asks is, can you au pair in one country and then extend in a different country? So yes, definitely. We have said that a couple of times throughout the presentation, and that's probably one of the most exciting things about au pairing in Europe, is despite that you aren't able to extend, you could say first maybe opt to au pair in Germany and then think, wow, this is actually really amazing. I'd love to have the opportunity of staying in Europe and maybe extending, and I'm saying that in like inverted commas, and then maybe go and find a host family in the Netherlands, for example. You reach out to us because then we can then see where you're at in terms of like where you are on your program. It depends on logistics. It depends obviously on you and what you're wanting to do as well, but you might have the opportunity to still apply and get matched and placed with your host family whilst you're still in that European country. But then you might decide to come home and apply for the visa, or you might decide to do the visa process in the Netherlands. Not in the Netherlands, sorry, in Europe, which will mean that you'll have to travel to another European country to be able to apply for the visa. But it's different for each situation. So we will obviously be able to guide you through that process, but it's definitely an option. And you can kind of like, have the best of both worlds and you can still be immersed in that European culture, but it's almost like you're getting to know like a different tradition and a different culture, etc. So you could actually, in effect, be in Europe for 2 or 3 years if you wanted to discover all of that. And if you've done Europe and you loved it and you haven't been to the States, then you can obviously also, if you fit in with the right category, age category and age-wise and all the rest of it, then there is obviously a possibility that you could also do go an au pair in the States, or the other way around. So we have some of the girls who do it the other way around. But I think that's the end of all the questions. If you guys do have any kind of questions where you wake up early in the morning or the middle of the night thinking, oh, I forgot to ask this, whatever, please definitely reach out to your OVC consultant, and then they will guide you and talk you and hold your hand through the next steps and the next process. But we are very grateful to have had pretty much a full house this evening. Hey, Elms. And thank you, yeah, for spending the last hour with us. It's been fun, and I think that's pretty much the end of us. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and we both, Elms and myself, hope to see your applications really soon. Bye now.
Thank you all.